One overriding aspect seems to pertain across nearly all of the Zelda games, the way in which one of the main Nintendo flagship franchises seems to work as a tech demo for each of the new Nintendo consoles' capabilities. From the stylus controlling the action in Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks for the DS, to the 3D adventuring started in Ocarina of Time for the N64. One of the most dramatic and divisive of all of the technical experimentations, however, came with the Wii's use of motion controls on Twilight Princess and here with Skyward Sword. Although the technology was revolutionary for the time, it was also, shall we say, inconsistent. Skyward Sword was even more dependent than Twilight Princess on the Wiimote, and this really does detract from the enjoyment of the game for me. I'd be lying if I said this wasn't still one of the most irritating control setups of any Zelda games I've played, even with the improvements of the 2021 remaster. By the time you've mastered the moves, you've probably died hundreds of times more from control mishaps than from actual enemies. And if you don't rage quit at least once from the 3 to 4 step process it takes to just pick up, look around, angle, and then throw a bomb before it blows up in your face, you're more of a patient person than me. And don't even get me started on the motion sickness this game gave me. Another irritation for me was the rather linear narrative, which seems to borrow from that most memorable of Mario level endings. Thank you, Mario, but the princess is in another castle. You work your way through areas that feel like dungeons to then take on proper dungeons, only to be told, oh, Zelda was just here but she left, try the next temple, again and again and again. The world itself is stunning and I wanted to explore it a bit more, but the story's simultaneously best and worst ingredient is that it continues to drive you ever onwards. It's equal parts mesmerising and frustrating. I couldn't put it down, and yet after nearly every chapter I was left thinking, thank God that bit's over, can't wait to see what's next. I don't think I've ever been so divided about a Zelda game as this. Now onto the positives, and you might be surprised to know that there are many. Firstly, as I've said, the world that Skyward Sword takes place in is absolutely gorgeous, and the gameplay is constantly engaging. The music is some of the most beautiful orchestrated in any Zelda game. The characters are memorable, and I have to say the bosses throughout the game were easily some of the most inventive in the whole franchise. So in conclusion, I'd say that Skyward Sword will no doubt still divide the fandom, but it's still worth a play, most definitely.